Council of Monday, December 5th, 2022 shall come to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Q, motion to approve the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dana, seconded by Mark, that we approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. To the consent agenda, you have a copy of the minutes of November 21st, 2022. We need approval of the bills and claims, of which you also have a copy. You have the following licenses and permits: excavator license, Country Landscapes, and Shane Munson Construction. Those are both renewals. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Gary, seconded by Mark, that we approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Now is the time and place for anyone in the audience who wishes to address the council on any issue or concern. Please approach the podium, state your name first and last, and give your address so the clerk can properly enter the minutes. This is not a discussion time nor a question and answer time, and it shall not be on the agenda. None appearing, we'll move on to unfinished business, of which we have none. We'll jump to 6, new business. 6A, Consolidated Urban Renewal Area Plan Amendment Review. Scott Flory, welcome, Scott.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just run through some of the items here in the packet with you tonight. First item in the packet on this topic is the orange sheet as a notice of public hearing on the designation of expanded Clear Lake Consolidated Urban Renewal Area and on proposed urban renewal plan amendment. That notice will be published in the Clear Lake Mirror Reporter on December 22nd. It indicates that the hearing will be held January 3rd, 6 p.m. here in the council chamber. So again, that's on the assumption that we're going to set the date for the January first meeting in January for January 3rd because of the New Year's Day holiday. So that also indicates that we're adding some additional territory into the consolidated urban renewal area, and you can read the description. Basically, that's an area that extends out into Clear Lake, 300 feet wide, and then it describes the location between lots 4 and lots 10, block 20, camp meeting ground subdivision of Clear Lake. And so that's for the portion of the Surf District Destination Iowa project that will extend out into the lake. The green sheet is a resolution setting the date for the public hearing. As I mentioned, that would be at January 3rd, 2023, 6 p.m. here in the council chambers, prescribing the notice that I just read to be published in the newspaper on December 22nd. The blue sheets in your packet is a copy of the Urban Renewal Plan Amendment, and we've dated that January of 2023. I'll just kind of go through briefly here. Again, I mentioned the added property, which is the area that's out in the lake, would be brought into the Consolidated Urban Renewal Plan and area. The projects that would be new projects that are those that were identified in the Destination Iowa grant application project that would be added to the Consolidated Urban Renewal Area would include first the Oaks Hotel development, and I'll just kind of read the description of that for you. The city and a private developer will undertake development and construction of a new boutique hotel on certain property situated at 10 Allens Alley and 110 7th Avenue North in the urban renewal area. The completed hotel project will alleviate blighted conditions in the urban renewal area and have a direct positive impact on increased and improved commerce, tourism, and development in the urban renewal area. It's anticipated that the city will pay for the hotel project with borrowed funds, proceeds of internal advances, of city funds on hand, and through an economic development agreement with negotiated tax increment financing incentives. The next project is the Enhanced Music Enrichment Center project. The city will undertake the expansion of the Music Enrichment Center project. The new MEC will be situated adjacent to the Surf Ballroom, replacing the existing Music Enrichment Center. It's anticipated the new Music Enrichment Center will be approximately 10,000 square feet, 2-story mixed-use building, including lesson rooms, dressing rooms, kitchen space, bathrooms, hospitality space, conference room, rooftop entertainment garden, and concession. The Music Enrichment Center will continue to provide educational outreach opportunities, music lessons, and summer programming. The next project is the Surf District Gateway and Streetscape and Public Art Improvement Project. The city will undertake the installation of major art exhibits situated just west of Buddy Holly Place, south of the railroad tracks, and extend down Buddy Holly Place throughout the Surf District corridor, improving the aesthetics of the area, adding turf, shrubs, flowers, lighting. There'll be futuristic like public art developed in the area that will be reminiscent of what is consistent with the Three Stars Plaza project. City will also undertake improvements to better define crosswalks by the Surf Ballroom, eliminating the certain residential streets in the area, particularly the Allen's Alley, will become a decorative brick street and serve as a drop-off for the Oaks Hotel. The completed Surf District Gateway Streetscape with Public Art Project will alleviate blighted conditions in the urban renewal area and again have a direct positive impact on increased commerce and tourism development in the urban renewal area. The next project will be the lakefront connection and access with water recreation improvements. The city will undertake improvements to provide pedestrian access between the Surf Ballroom and the waterfront of Clear Lake, including installation of green space, a walkway to be situated on the Fox House property. City walkway on the Fox House property will feature public art and will provide a lakeside floating dock, boat slips, and pavilion. Also, there's a couple other items that aren't directly related to the Surf District Destination Iowa grant application, but are very relevant to the future redevelopment of that area. One of those is the acquisition of 122 and 122.5 Beach Drive, also 468 North Shore Drive, 464 North Shore Drive, 217 7th Avenue North, and 604 Buddy Holly Place, adding those areas into the urban renewal area. And in the context of those would be property acquisition projects, demolition projects, and site preparation projects to alleviate blighted conditions and have, again, a positive economic impact within the area. So the total amount of projects that are to be added into the urban renewal plan total $22,800,000 worth of additional projects. So again, the council set January 3rd, 6 p.m. as the date for the public hearing on this matter. We also have to, again, refer this to the Planning and Zoning Commission for review and recommendation. So we're kind of going back and forth as to whether or not that will take place on December 27th or December 20th. It's kind of which one we can get the most members of the commission in attendance for. So right now it kind of looks like December 20th as opposed to December 27th, but the matter gets referred by the council to the Planning and Zoning Commission. It'll take it up at one of those dates. As I mentioned, notice of the hearing will be published in the newspaper on December 22nd, advising of the date, time, place for the public hearing. We also hold a consultation meeting with the other taxing entities of Cerro Gordo County, so we're proposing that to be held December 16th, 10 o'clock here at City Hall. So I don't have anything in terms of background on the Consolidated Urban Renewal Plan amendments, unless anyone has any questions on that. I would just add that we're very excited about the announcement that was made by the governor's office that our grant application, this book, magnum opus as I refer to it, was approved, and we were named recipient of the creative placemaking funding portion of that Destination Iowa project. Davenport also received some funding there as well, so I think other than Clear Lake and Davenport, we were the only two cities named that received funding out of that creative placemaking bucket, if you will. So again, it was a very, very difficult process to put that application together, and this is going to be a transformative project, to say the least. Going to take a lot of time. It's not going to be for the timid, so buckle up, because we got a long way to go and a lot to do on this, and just again, going to transform an entire area of our community. We've talked about it so many times that we're blessed to have the Surf Ballroom there, one of only 27 National Historic Landmarks in the state of Iowa, located here in our community. And through this grant, now we have the opportunity to make some real improvements and create a much better environment around the surf ballroom, so.
One of the most exciting projects this community has ever had, or the most exciting project.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, we've hit some real home runs here, but this is definitely the most challenging. And so when someone that says that about, we had about an $80 million economic development project, and I'll tell you, this was more difficult than that. That was very difficult, but this was far more difficult, in my opinion, and it's not going to be easy to implement. So we can celebrate, but we've got a long, long way to go.
Questions, comments for Scott?
Yes, Mayor, I would just agree. I think it's a fantastic day for Clear Lake, and what an exciting opportunity. As we've talked about, Scott, for quite some time now, it really has sparked interest in more private investment in the area as well, and that's been a lot of fun to see. Maybe you could comment on that just a little bit, because, again, it's already, I know we're fielding inquiries and things like that, but maybe you could comment a bit on that.
So those are a couple of those properties that I mentioned that are not directly involved in the Destination Iowa application, the project, but definitely have been part of the conversation on the project as we've gone along this time. So some of them you know on Buddy Holly there, and then 7th Avenue North. And yeah, I think the goal, to facilitate further private reinvestment, I think we're going to see that as this project happens. So definitely in the area of housing, residential development. So yeah, I think this will spark a lot of interest in that area.
Yeah, very exciting for many years, I think, to come in that district. So thank you, and to the team, and for the private investment and all the help. So thank you. Yeah,
I would just add, I think I shared with you privately that we had some real nice comments. Nelson talked about those on Bob Fisher's radio program. He had Department of Economic Development Director Debbie Durham on that program and aired that a couple of times. And these things don't just happen. I promise you. And so there's a lot of nuances that go on that most people will never know about. And, she commented about one of those in her talk with Bob, and I shared that with you. But there's just certain things where you kind of maybe reach out and invite some conversation with people about that. And, I think those things are instrumental in making these kinds of things happen. And, there's just very many pivotal moments along the way. And I say this, I gave this talk at Noon Lions here again, and, enjoy doing that. But it's a good crowd, and I think they enjoy hearing it. But there are pivotal moments along the way on so many of these things, and there were a couple of them on this project. This was not a fait accompli, not by any means. And, we had that with the Wellness Center, we had that with McKesson, and, there were some pivotal moments, and I say that because when those things happen, you can trace back everything to those moments, because if those don't happen, the things that follow don't happen.
Thank you very much.
Any other council comments? Thank you. We'll entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2291, a resolution setting the date for the public hearing, which shall be January 3rd of 2023, on the designation of the expanded Clear Lake Consolidated Urban Renewal Area and on the Urban Renewal Plan Amendment. Motion, please.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Bennett, that we approve Resolution 2291. Is there any discussion? Call. Mark?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
And Dana?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. 6B, Veterans Memorial Golf Course Operating Lease Agreement Extension. Scott?
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. The first, looks like kind of tan sheet there in your packet is a letter from the Veterans Memorial Golf Club indicating their desire to add an additional 3-year term to their operating agreement with the city for the Veterans Memorial Golf Course that's owned by the city here in Clear Lake. So Jay Berge is here tonight to make that request for you. I just put a few items here in your packet on that. A resolution that follows that would approve the operating agreement term extension with Veterans Memorial Golf Club Foundation, Inc. For an additional 3-year term, so that would carry it from November 15th, 2022 through November 31st of 2024. Then,
Scott, is that 2 years?
no, that's 3, but I may be looking at the last. I was thinking we were doing a 3-year term here. Okay, a 2-year term. So I was thinking we were doing a 3-year term, but yep, just a 2-year term. We've done 3-year terms before, but so the yellow sheet after that is yellow sheets, the operating agreement extension that we approved previously. That was for an initial term of 2 years with an additional term of 2 years on that one as well. Then the gray sheets that follow that are the original operating agreement that the city entered into with the Golf Club Foundation for the golf course project. So just again, the way of some review, we had entered into that initial agreement with the Golf Club Foundation back on March 7th of 2011 for the property located there, 2000 North Shore Drive. Again, that was for an initial term of 2 years. We had an extension for 2 years. Then on December 15th, we had approved an additional 3-year term on that, so that ended on December 1st, 2018. Then back in February of 2020, we entered into a second lease extension, and that carried it through December 31st of this year. So this would be the third extension and covering the period from January 2023 through December 2024. So yeah, I was thinking it was a 3-year term, but I guess it was 2-year. Do I have anything further before Jay kind of gives you the annual update there and report and request? But yeah, I think Mike and Nelson always like to talk about the golf course as one of the more successful projects. Again, that was another one of those opportunities where that was closing and city stepped in, and we had no desire really to own a golf course at the time, but stepped in and bought it, and were able to work out an agreement with a terrific group of volunteers to operate and run it. So, been very successful.
And Scott was very instrumental in forming the 501c3.
That was,
I recall those days.
that was one of the very first ones. So the person that we're working with to form a agreement on the hotel project is the one that did help me the most on that. But there were not very many golf courses that are 501c3 nonprofit status. There are many golf courses that may operate as a nonprofit, but not as a 501c3. So it was very, very difficult. Remember the conversation we had. We're denied, of course. Originally, we did not accept that denial, and we were able to get that approved, but had some calls with some folks at the IRS in Sacramento, of all places, on that. Took some work, but got it through.
And several local courses have come to
Yeah.
talk to the guys.
Yep, Garner
how that got
did.
done.
Yep.
Good job. Anything else, Council, for Scott? Thank you, Scott. Welcome, Jay and Jason. Jason Flory and Jay Berge.
Jason as the new vice president. Bryce Furman couldn't be here tonight. I'm the outgoing president, and this is how it's going to work. I can't go sit down.
Jason Floy, newly elected vice president. Bryce Furman's not able to come tonight, so we thought we'd step in. Just appreciate the ongoing support of the city out at the golf course. We've built some consistency over the years, and we'll prove that again in financials when we go through it in February. Able to do a lot of different projects this past year, and still kind of keeping it really rolling. So just appreciate the city's involvement, and would like to extend the agreement for another couple of years for sure.
And we've got the top back on the golf shed, the cart shed.
The cart shed was one of those projects. Yep, everything's ready to roll, and actually I think everybody's got their carts back in there for the winter. Doors are in and locks and the whole works. So.
Any questions, council?
Just to comment, Nelson.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. You're dealing with two more former students out there in the audience that are now changing the presidency, and I'd just like to remind them that they spend a lot more time golfing than they ever did learning economics.
Page 2. Yeah. Anything else, council, for Jason? Thanks, Jason. Appreciate your opinion. Therefore, entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2192, a resolution approving an operating agreement term extension agreement for Clear Lake Veterans Memorial Golf Club Foundation for the Veterans Memorial Golf Course. Motion, please.
So moved.
Moved by Mike, seconded by Bennett, that we approve Resolution 2192. Is there any further discussion? Roll call. Mike?
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
And Mark?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Resolution 2192 is duly adopted. Thanks again, Jay and Jason. Appreciate your being here. We're thankful that you are running this golf course very, very well. This guy and me, anyway. Thanks. Thank you. Okay, 6C, Emerald Edge Subdivision Upgraded Street Lighting Project. Scott again.
Thanks, Mayor. The green sheet in your packet is a resolution approving the contract and bonds for the Emerald Edge street lighting project, and that the council had awarded the contract. Its previous meeting on November 21st to K&W Electric, Cedar Falls, in the amount of $99,840. And so we've now received the partially executed contract back from the contractor, K&W, also the contract bonds, performance payment, maintenance bond, and certificate of liability insurance. So all of those have been reviewed and are in compliance with the previously approved contract document specifications. So you've got the orange sheets as the contract there, and the yellow sheet as the certificate of liability insurance, and last but not least, the performance payment and maintenance bond are on the blue sheet. So, and we would recommend approval of those. We don't have a pre-construction conference date set yet, but again, the schedule is still remains the same, that this will be done in the spring. Don't anticipate any issues as far as lead time goes on the fixtures and cabinet materials and stuff like that. So should be good to get it completed by the end of spring. So.
Council, any questions? Thank you, Scott. For entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2193, a resolution approving contract and bonds for the Emerald Edge Subdivision Upgraded Street Lighting Project to K&W Electric, Cedar Falls, Iowa, in the amount of $99,840. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Dana, that we approve Resolution 2193. Is there any discussion? Roll call. Gary?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Mark? And Mike? Yes. Motion carries 5-0. Resolution 2193 is duly adopted. Chief Roth, report. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just a small report just on our employment or hiring staffing issues that we're having, or we're actually coming to a close with those issues. So as I told you before in the last couple of council meetings, Officer Conklin, Paige Conklin, will be graduating here on the 16th of December, so she'll be back and entering field training. We have 2 conditional offers out to new police officers that will start hopefully sometime in January, so very excited about that. 1 certified, 1 non-certified. We have a new dispatcher starting for the vacancy that we had with Nikki Pate leaving, and she comes from the county, so she'll be really ready to go. She knows our computer system, she knows our CAD system, so she really will be hopefully hit the ground running, and we'll be able to get her up and getting to our culture and our system here more rapidly than we would a normal person that has experience in that. So I had some questions about the weather this morning. We didn't really have that many crashes. Fortunately, they just had a couple, one on the interstate and that one down by you when you came in this morning. That was a crash that they were working on this morning about 5:30. Sanders came out and took care of that. And we actually kind of were very fortunate today. We had a couple crashes related to the weather. So had a couple questions on that, so I thought I'd discuss that. But other than that, we're good at the police department, unless you have any.
Questions, comments, council? Well done, Chief, really, on where we stand with regard to officers and those in the dispatch area. I think Scott mentioned this a while back, comparatively to other towns, I think we're doing very well.
Oh, yeah. I think as you look around, Creighton's very involved with this a lot. We look around and see what other towns are having to do to incentivize other police officers to come to their communities. We haven't had to do nearly what other communities have, so we've been very fortunate there. And I think it says a lot about our community, our police department. Many communities go through a lot of sort of histrionics to try to get people in. We've not had to resort to that.
I will say too that Scott and Creighton have been helpful. We could not do what we have done over the last 5-6 months without their help and the council's support. So again, we're very grateful for that. And a lot of people over there work very hard on recruiting and maintaining the ones we have. And we actually had a very challenging 2022, but we met all of our challenges and met all of our expectations, and we're just very proud of the department. So,
As are we. Well done, Chief. Thanks. Public Works Director report. Jeremy Kornberg. Welcome, Jeremy.
Just a quick update on Main Avenue. As if you've noticed, Main Avenue is open, at least for east-west traffic. There's still closure there at a couple of the intersections. Hopefully by the end of the week, they'll have all the backfilling done, and then the side streets will be opened as well. Kind of piggyback on that, you've noticed some of the new street signs are going up. They're kind of labor intensive, so they will take a little time. I think we'll be able to get that first section of Main that was paved done for sure, depending on how hard the ground is. I don't know if we'll be able to get base put in on the next couple intersections, but if it allows, we will. So other than that, not a whole lot, just winter operations. So Sanders are running well. We had water main break this weekend, so we did only have 3 Sanders this morning when we took off, but Lee, our mechanic, came in a little early, and I met him there. We got it hooked up and running, so he was out on the road by about 6:30 as well, so we ended up having all 4 going out in the town. So, other than that, any questions?
Patches, will they get done on North Shore Drive, or?
Those are scheduled to be done this week. We conversed with the contractor. He's hoping to start Wednesday, coring it out, pouring it back, and then open it up by Friday. So, yeah, just kind of a combination of really tough excavation conditions there in that spot, top of a hill, water, both of the mains are really deep there, and then also just weather kind of, once they started Thanksgiving, and then we had ice and some snow and some more weather, so. So they are going to actually temporarily pave that just to get it patched, and then they've agreed to come back in the spring and redo it so that we get kind of a better end product than just paving this time of year on that, so.
Comments, council?
I was just going to mention, build on what Jeremy said about the new street name sign posts that we put in out there. Hope you kind of pay attention to those, look at those. I think it's just a great example of how we're reducing some right-of-way clutter there by taking, if you looked at the intersections previously, one corner you'd have the street name, another corner you'd have a stop sign. So now we'll combine those, reduce the amount of clutter that we have and the obstructions in the right-of-way, and these look so much more aesthetically pleasing than what we had up there before. And when we're investing millions of dollars in a street like Main Avenue, it'd be kind of a shame to put those old ones back up with, just a very nice finishing touch on it.
Very, very classy, I think. If you drive down, Sunday for the first time, I drove down Main Street and looked at those, and then began to think, how many years has it been that we've been reconstructing Main from the public approach at the lake? How far down to Kennedy's in that area, or interstate, underneath the interstate, didn't it go?
Right.
And beautiful street now. Ways to go, but that'll be
I
done.
heard a couple of compliments on the new street signs this morning.
Good.
And,
Yeah.
one of them was even asking what we were gonna do with the old ones, and I said, just get your checkbook out. and
We're gonna,
gladly,
we're gonna sell a few of those, yeah.
Give you what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Jim, I appreciate that. Creighton? Okay. Under Mayor's Report, Stacy, CEO, Clear Lake Chamber. Welcome, Stacy.
Council, Mayor, nice to see you. What a historic week for our community. Very excited to hear the governor's announcement about the Surf District project. I'm excited to see all of the development that happens. I know it's a long road, but very exciting to be at this point. So congratulations on a successful grant application. This past weekend was Christmas by the lake. It was cold. We tried to order up the same 45-degree weather that we had last year, and Mother Nature did not comply. So we were in the feels like single-digit temperatures much of the day, and of course that impacts the crowds, but there was still, a parade and fireworks time where a lot of people downtown, and we did live stream the parade this year, so we've seen now that there have been about 5,000 people who have watched our parade, so people probably who have never even come to Clear Lake got to enjoy the parade via our Facebook Live, so that was kind of a fun addition this year. I just want to again say thanks to everyone who helped support these events. So the city, police department, public works, parks, everyone has to chip in to make these things happen, and we really appreciate your support. So with that, I am finished unless you have any questions.
Questions first? But estimated number of people? We always ask that,
Yeah. So
Nobody's
we
standing there with a
actually, we
clicker.
have a new analytics platform that'll allow us to look to determine based on cell phone traffic how many people came to the community, but it's about a 48 to 72 hour look back. So when I looked at the data this morning, it wasn't there yet, but I should have that information next time.
Yeah. They were packed in certain places.
Oh
along
yeah,
there,
all of the
just
indoor
really-
activities, every single indoor place I went to, there it was standing room only. There wasn't room, so maybe a few less people outside in the cold, but more people packed indoors at a lot of those activities. And all the organizations who come alongside and create their own experiences, like at Zion, and they had breakfast with Santa out at St. Patrick's, and nativity scenes at another church. I mean, they're just, all the organizations who chip in to make it so much better is really cool.
Truly a community involvement with that.
Yeah.
And that was neat to see. Yep. Thank you very much. I thought those fireworks, sometimes for me, they're better than those on the 4th of July. I mean, they're boom, and right at the end, it's the spectacularness, if there is such a word, of those being so close too. I do believe that. Under Mayor's Report, we have mentioned this, and we will mention it again and again and again, and we should. This surf district project, I do believe in that. It says it must be complete by 2026, and so we've got 4 years down the road. But as Bennett said, you watch that district, that area, will, my word, blossom now over the next 10 years. That will be something else. And once again, as Bennett said, thanks for the private investment in that, as well as the public. Here we go with the public-private partnership and how well it has been run over these years. We darn near lost the surf. Many people tried to save it, but until recently is the last 10 years, I suppose. It seems it's gone that quickly, but it has, and it's coming back stronger and stronger and stronger. And, thanks to Scott and the team for that unbelievable amount of time and back and forth, all types of communication, traveling time to get that accomplished, and the announcement was really wonderful for our eyes and ears to hear about, and here we go. And like I said, that area will really really bloom, I think, with a variety of things someday. So, once again, thanks to everybody who put that together. The comprehensive plan community meeting is December 7th, and that's 5 to 7 p.m. at the Surf Ballroom. Am I correct on that? I do believe I'm correct on that. And I would encourage all of you to get there, simply looking for input. And as much as we can give these people to put that together, our DG is the overall overseer of all of that, from Mason City to the county to Clear Lake. And this is our opportunity when they come to the surf to go down and listen, if you don't have any input, but certainly listen to see what other people have to say and their input as well. I would encourage all citizens to be there and hear what is happening. So that's the surf, 7 o'clock, December 7th from 5 to 7. Be there. Be there. Okay, we have, council, we have an appointment of Vance Wendell, 10 North 35th Street, to the Board of Adjustment for the term ending December 31st of 2027. You have his board and commission application in front of you there. It isn't too long to just skim through and want. If you have any questions, could we hear them now? If not, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Vance Wendell to the Board of Adjustment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Gary, seconded by Bennett, that we approve the appointment of Vance Wendell to the Board of Adjustment. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Scott, City Administrator's report.
Not much. I just want to say thanks to the mayor and the council for your support on the Destination Iowa project. Without you, none of these things happen, so thanks.
Okay, under, excuse me, under other business, we'll be going into closed session, audience, so, and thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. I'll entertain a motion to move from a regular meeting to a closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Bennett, seconded by Gary, that we close the business meeting and move directly to the closed session. I'll need a roll call on this. Bennett?
Yes.
Dana?
Yes.
Mark? Mike? Yes. And Gary?
Yes.
Motion carries.